welcome to What the Football again. World Cup time as always. It's Chaitanya joining me in the studio again. Happy man wearing the Brazil colours because not so happy is he? No. Mexico pulled over a crazy draw on them. A scoreless draw nonetheless, but a crazy one as well. We've got joining us on Google Hangout, we've got Deepto, Nikhil and Raman joining. Hi guys, thank you for being on the show again.
Right. Pleasure to be here.
So let's get straight to the big talking point of that game, which has to be Mexico's goalkeeper, Guillermo Ochoa. The internet is exploding with all of the funny stuff that's gone around with this guy. They've played memes. They've got check that out. That's him on a condom. That's pretty funny. Stops anything.
Safe.
Yes, and him
Stops
doing the Neo Ochoa. That's pretty funky
Superman.
too. Supermaning it. Many of which there were. There was a cool Gandalf one as well, where he's like, "You shall not pass." I liked that as well. Let's look statistically at Ochoa's performance. Was really impressive. There you can see there 6 saves, 2 punches out, a catch, and 0 goals conceded, and a very unhappy Neymar to go with that. What a performance, Chaitanya. What was he on?
Whatever. Yeah, I'd like a stock full of it for the entire month, because to watch performances like these, you have to be on one. It's just as like we mentioned, we've been talking about it. People showing up at the World Cup. If it's your day, it's your day. No one can stop you. And he's the perfect example. I think he epitomizes players just showing up at the World Cup and calling it their stage on that night.
And it couldn't be a better time for him after the World Cup, because he is a free agent and available to whoever wants to snap him up. Arsenal and the lot have said that they are interested. Guys on Hangout. Deepto. We have 2 Deeptos on Hangout. There are 2 pictures there. Is he calling in twice? I don't know. We'll take it from Raman then, in case we get the split personality. Raman, hi. Ochoa's performance, without him, what would the scoreline have been?
Well, I think he was tremendous. You talked about 6 saves straight away on that stat. I thought those stats are a little, underrating his performance, because it was just the mere presence that he had in goal, which was towering. And I love that bit that was doing the rounds on the internet, the Gandalf bit, "Thou shalt not pass." I think that was epitomizing exactly what he was doing yesterday. Some tremendous reflexes.
Yeah, literally, the defense need not have showed up. He had it under control.
You remember a couple of very close range shots taken, and he reacted brilliantly. So it was just those, the split-second reactions, kind of onboard level that was there. I think it was totally something different, on a different level. And having said that, I think in the second half, the kind of attacks that Mexico mounted, and they took shots on goal. They might not have been shots on target, but the kind of intent that we showed, I think a pretty fair result.
And this is down presumably to the quick feet and all that Mexico have. Chicharito came on. He was trying very hard, but they do seem to lack a physical presence, Mexico. How is that going to affect them later on?
If you notice, the first half, the referee was very, reluctant in pulling out the cards. The second half was when the cards started coming out, because, Mexico were exerting themselves physically a lot on the pitch. And I think the second half was when the ref said, "Enough's enough. Now's the time that, before things start getting out of hand, let's start pulling out the yellows."
You speak of the lack of physical presence, and as he was also saying, the referee started pulling cards out left, right, and center. What I noticed for Mexico was like a strong wall was in fact the ex-Barcelona recruit in Rafael Marquez. He was solid throughout 90. I mean, they could have had more shots on target, Brazil, had he not been there manning that back four and sweeping them.
Guardado as well put in a great performance.
Very good shift.
Very good shift there as well. Onto Brazil's team as well. I'd like to get Deepto in for this. Deepto, hey, can you hear me? Unmute your mic, sir. Deepto, unmute your mic. We have lost him. Nikhil, to you.
Speak.
Nikhil would like to be adopted. If you can see it, we've lost Nikhil.
Well, with that picture,
right. Anyway, we're losing people. We're losing them like flies. As Brazil had lost Hulk as well. Bernard coming in, doing a pretty good job with the pace. But we were having a discussion about the use of Willian and why they don't check him out now, because neither Fred nor Joe look like they should be up there. They seem like just kind of fillers almost.
Yep.
And whereas Neymar can play the striker and you've got that pace, would you play Willian? Would you
Sure,
start
why
with
not?
him?
Because considering the versatility Brazil have up front, you can change wings. Essentially everyone's good on both feet. The crossing ability is there. Why would you not play Willian? Because even with Chelsea, he's shown that he's a very, very versatile, can do everything, fits all pegs kind of player. If you have a player in your squad, you should make the most of it.
Yeah. Fernandinho is not being made use of, and Ramirez got to run out as well.
I keep being surprised again. Keep surprising me, and now we have the Chelsea fan back, Nikhil.
What makes Ramirez so good that he keeps getting these opportunities in places where the others perhaps think he shouldn't?
Well, reason Ramirez is so good is because he has a engine. Start running in full burst, running in the 90th minute full burst. Just doesn't stop.
So a liability when it comes to aggression, and he did get taken off, and Scolari was quoted saying, in fact, that he was taken off because he feared he would pick up a red.
Yeah, Ramirez does have this tendency of wherever it's to him, I would say. But he's a good player, and I honestly feel that guys, Willian are to Brazil.
Audio. Sorry, Nikhil, your audio is a little clear. Stop streaming things in the background. Right. Moving a little bit on then. Let's get to the next game rather and push through. This time we don't want to get late for the match later on.
Yes.
So let's do that. Belgium versus Algeria. We thought it was going to be a pushover for Belgium, that they were going to dominate. We had some predictions that were 4-0 and higher going around in the studio last time. 2-1 the result, but that wasn't a reflection as to how the game actually went. It was perhaps only Belgium's game post Marwan Fellaini coming on. He pretty much changed the game.
Again, a very, 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 very surprising thing to see, because Marwan Fellaini, as I said, could do wonders in a Belgian shirt and absolutely did. Inspired a comeback, came on, made himself visible on the field, was a dominating presence at the center of the park. Basically did what VIII was trying to do throughout the game, came on and implemented it. And people around the newspapers, including the Belgian team, have come out and said that Belgium understands Fellaini more than Manchester United. So I think it's an over to you Louis van Gaal situation there.
Well, hey, if anyone can do it, he can. That's for sure. Algeria were looking weak in the air, though. I mean, all said and done, they got the penalty, also debatable whether it was a clear penalty or not. And then all they had to do was really hold on to that thing, but they weren't very strong.
But then Belgium,
in
you
the
know,
air.
with Belgium, as every minute passes, Belgium are a team who will keep passing you, keep maneuvering you out of the game, and that happened. And again, unsung heroes. Between Brazil and Mexico and Belgium and Algeria, the names Ochoa and Dries Mertens would have never been mentioned.
Yeah, seriously.
And they're dominating the headlines as we speak today. That's why it's the best World Cup I've ever seen.
So far, so good, right? It's always good to hear the unknowns and the underdogs coming through. One of the guys who didn't live up to his reputation all round was, in fact, Romelu Lukaku. Raman, his performance wasn't that which we've been used to seeing in the Premier League. We have lost him. They're running away. I don't think they like us very much anymore.
I think Nikhil still likes us, and I think
Nikhil
he's
still wants to be
his
adopted. Anyway, he didn't, Lukaku, live up to the...
Yeah, a lot expected from him, a lot of transfer. Maybe I think his head's turned. He's young. He's had a very good season. A lot of clubs following him, not replicating the form that he had with Everton. And well, Christian Benteke, the absentee from this Belgium team, the last piece in their jigsaw puzzle was actually missing. They were actually looking for a presence like that.
That young little kid, Origi, or I can't even pronounce his name.
Yeah, neither can I this time.
He came on at 19 years old. He did look pretty good as well. I mean, he had a couple of good runs, of course, inexperienced, but handy.
Again, the coach Mark Wilmore doing as much as he can with his resources and his depth in squad, and using players, impact players, fast players, young players who have nothing to fear. No reputations, no price tags, just play. And I think that's what happened. Even in the end, with the Dries Mertens goal, you saw in the last 5 minutes, Belgium were just coming on in the pitch, yard by yard. It was almost like an American football game where you keep reaching towards the touchdown line. beautiful football though at the
Yeah.
end.
We didn't see your boy Januzaj make an appearance though.
Hey, I didn't see my boy Januzaj making
Well,
an
hey.
appearance.
Well, enough, the less said about that, the better. But we want to see him have some
Yep.
action out there. Raman, you're back with us. Fantastic. We were talking about Algeria's defense. And how were they able to hold on? Was it more a fact that they were defending well, or was it Belgium were just not clicking until, let's say, Fellaini came on? What was it more for you? Bad defense
I think
or bad attack?
The first half, the Algerian team, I thought, they didn't show the kind of nerves as Chaitanya was saying a little while ago. They played as if they had nothing to lose. So you found that their presence on the pitch was, I thought, a lot more pronounced as compared to Belgium.
Yeah,
that
certainly.
turned around in the second half. The first half, it was the Algerians all the way. You talk about their fragility in defense later in the second half, and not being able to take on the aerial balls. I thought they expressed themselves like Mexico. The Algerian team expressed themselves physically a lot more on the pitch, and I just felt that the momentum was missing in Belgium. I thought they might have taken this game a little too casually to begin with, and suddenly found themselves, having to come back from a 1-0 deficit to try and turn things around.
Well, with the game one jitters all round, I guess a lot of the teams we will get to see them really opening up.
Because I think we're starting with the second round of games. You saw Mexico express themselves brilliantly as the tournaments progressed. I think even Spain and Chile, something we will build up to in the show. I think even Spain will be looking to, get rid of those early match blues, that result, everything, put that behind, play their own game, because now teams are actually starting to find their feet. Pity their clubs are in a conspicuous position, so they really don't have a lot of time.
This is true.
But as we saw, Belgium again, it'll take them time to the next round of fixtures to actually find their footing, see where they're, because they come with a lot of pressure.
The formation that we've seen, can we expect that to be changed around much, or?
I think it'll be more of a change in personnel rather than the formation, because I think Kevin Miralas should, start on the wing along with Hazard, and I think Lukaku should be switched along with a striker to actually make it more physical, more fast, because he's not been the man who we saw in that Everton shirt.
Yeah, completely. Wanted to go now to the news.
The news.
We've got Deepto back, fantastic. So nice. Deepto, we will get to you in a sec. Don't go anywhere. The news. Maradona made a comment.
Again.
Go for it. Tell us what he said.
And again, it again involves Thomas Muller and Maradona. It's at the World Cup. It's not at the quarterfinal stages, but the man who called Germany's top scorer right now a ball boy is now saying, well, he was not muscly enough for the challenge, was not graceful enough. Pepe is stupid. The words just keep flying out when Diego Maradona starts talking, and he's come out with really staunch criticism of what happened vis-a-vis the Pepe red card and the reaction from Thomas Muller, as we saw, who tried to make a meal of it, saw the cameras were on him, saw the referee was a couple of meters away, and just stood up and stood straight up to the challenge. So let's see whether Diego Maradona has something more to say, because we know he always does.
Indeed. He also mentioned that Cristiano Ronaldo was not allowed allowed to be the player that he is for Real Madrid. What does he mean by that?
Again, the very valid point that Nikhil on Hangout told us a couple of days back when we were reviewing the Germany-Portugal game, that you've never seen him as distraught, dropping his shoulders in a Real. Yeah, you could not see the Real Madrid Cristiano Ronaldo. You just saw Cristiano Ronaldo in a Portugal shirt, and then so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So not happy days for him, but then again, he finds his feet, he can put a lot of oppositions to rest.
True say. Well, guys, happy days on the next piece of news. The Premier League fixtures have been announced. I know we're in World Cup mode, but I know the rest of us after this month have to get back to our regular football day jobs, which is the Premier League. So we've got a little pinboard of the exciting matches we can see. I hope to see in the games coming up in the early part of the season. There you can see it's actually going to be down to pretty much Man City is going to set the tone in terms of the other big teams in their clashes. So there's dates and Manchester United. Too easy. Why too easy?
Because I think Manchester United are going to set the tone of the season, because...
I know you have a lot to say about that, but we actually have another Manchester United fan.
Oh, yes, we do. Who we love to hear from.
Deep, though.
Goes over to Deep, though.
Okay.
Again, as I was saying, Manchester United will set the tone of the season, because Nikhil's team will be saved from us till the end of October, which is actually our first realistic challenge. Manchester United takes on the likes of Burnley, Sunderland and Everton and West Ham throughout till the end of October, when Chelsea and United lock horns at Old Trafford. So I'm really, really excited about that.
Indeed, we all are thrilled to get the transfer window closed and the season open. Right then, last piece of news in terms of the transfer thing. Yeah, not the place that we expect to hear him go. This is Xavi. That's Barcelona's Xavi. And is apparently on his way to Qatar, of all places.
Yeah, this is according to ex-Barcelona and ex-Chelsea Ivan Petrescu, who is working in Qatar with one of the famous Qatar clubs, Al Ahly, and comes out and says that Xavi has, well, that's a statement in itself, and he says he's a pre-contract agreement with the side.
Right.
He had a lot of offers which Xavi rejected to go to Qatar, so you really would like to see how this news pans out to be, because with Fabregas gone, and Xavi suddenly pulling his weight out of Barcelona, it might be a little more than they thought they'd chew.
I think someone bribed his agent. It's Qatar after
I
all.
think there's a lot of bribes involved, and I think the agent might just be the tip of the iceberg.
Hey. Right then, on to then our What the Fact for the day. And given that Ochoa had such a fantastic game for Mexico, we decided to talk about another Mexican keeper
Who did not have the best outings.
Yes, indeed. Talk us through that.
He's one of the most capped, he's one of the best keepers Mexico has ever had, but Antonio Carvajal still is a leaky goalkeeper. Butterfingers, as I've called him. 25 goals conceded in 11 World Cup games, albeit from 50 to 66, but
Still.
when you're a keeper and you have a 2.5 goal ratio, you're really not doing that well in life, are you?
Absolutely. So, well, at least their future is safe if their past
Yep.
is a bit murky. Yes, indeed. Right then, Netherlands, Australia coming up shortly, coming up soon. The Dutch have never beaten the Australians.
Yes, they
which
have
is
never
great.
beaten the Socceroos.
Really, really interesting. Let's take a look at the Dutch team. Let's take a look
And
at the
again,
Dutch team.
don't expect any surprises. Only in terms of I personally would like to see Jermaine Lens start, because I think again very pacey customer, can be very quick on the lines.
Yeah, well, they have got the fastest customer officially now, Robin, doing his
Yeah.
thing over here. Not many changes. The manager has said that he's not going to make any changes from the squad that thrashed Spain 5-1. And I mean, why would you need to?
Well, Louis van Gaal, considering we know he is an all-round coach, has said before the game that nothing has changed. The team reacted very well, especially the more experienced players. They understand what's going on, and they knew there is just one win. We haven't qualified yet, and he goes on and says, I see this attitude in a positive way. At the same time, I must prepare this team for the next match. So the approach is the same, the attitude is the same, and that's what you get when you have players like Schneider, Van Persie, Robin, Ron Vlaar, Nigel de Jong, cool, calm, experienced campaigners who know that this is not something to be carried away by.
Yeah,
We're just still in the group.
And they have the confidence in their. We want to talk about the formation a little bit, that they've gone with this 3-4-1-2. Who have we got on Hangout at the moment? Raman, sir. They rely heavily on those front three of Schneider, Robin, Van Persie, and Robben. While they lie back deep, is this a strategy that's going to work for them throughout?
First and foremost, I'll go back to another thing you were talking about the EPL fixtures out and how Man U might set the pace. I love what Chaitanya said about that. I personally feel it's going to be a very interesting combination. Louis van Gaal there, and I'd like to see Van Persie go.
Oh yes.
Because that's a combination that I am really looking forward to seeing. And I thought with Moyes there, I thought Van Persie was a pale shadow of what he can do. And with Van Gaal,
I love this man. We're getting him on the studio. Sorry.
I think that's going to be brilliant.
No, completely. He never really, they never gelled Moyes and Van Persie and Van Gaal. They have got the Dutch connection. You can see themselves high-fiving after the goals. So that's going to be.
So that's one. And coming back to what you were saying, how they team up front, I think that's the potent threat that the Dutch pose with Arjen Robben there at the pace that he can set. I mean, we saw what he did against Spain. It was as much to do with the openings being created by pinpoint precision passing and as is was with the pace. When you can outrun your marker and throw him off guard, I think it's going to be a challenge for any team. Though I think the challenge might be a little more physical with the Australians today as compared to what it was with Spain.
Agreed. And on that note, let's take a look at the Australian team then. This is how they will be lining up the Aussies, the Kangaroos. Right there.
Socceroos.
The Socceroos, sorry.
Socceroos.
The Socceroos. Oh, should we do that in an Australian accent? Socceroos.
Yeah, I don't know any better.
I don't want to do it. I don't do this. Hey. Right there, Tim Cahill, obviously Australia's leading scorer. They're still knocking in 33 after the last game, so they're going to be looking at him. This fella, Tracy, comes in place of, I can't remember who it is, who's injured out at the moment. Jedinak obviously holding that defensive midfield position. Is this formation going to work? It doesn't look like this is going to be working against the likes of Holland, because I think they should be sitting a lot deeper.
And I think they will, regardless of the formation. I think what might just happen in the kicking minutes of the match is that the Australians will feel that they're, as much as they'd like to absorb the Dutch attack, I think they'll be overwhelmed with that, because the Dutch are in brilliant form.
Yeah.
Robin's hitting goals, Van Persie is hitting goals, Schneider's been in the middle of everything good that's happening. You only need these three players, and let's be honest, I think it's going to be a spanking.
It's going to be a spanking.
It's gonna be a spanking.
On that note, a spanking. What's the prediction? What is your
Well,
score?
the odds say that a draw is favoured 6-1.
Okay.
That Netherlands win 2-9, and Australia you get 16-1.
Which is not bad at all.
I'm still going to stick my money on 2-9 and give a Netherlands 4-0 win.
Netherlands
and it's going to
4-0
happen.
from you. Well, we mentioned that they've never beaten Australia before, but Australia have beaten them, just by the way.
Yeah.
So that is interesting. But that was, of course, a while ago.
The likes of Harry Kewell scored in that
Harry
group.
Kewell, Mark Viduka. We've got Nikhil there still?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, we've been missing for a while. Just let me get you in and bring you in on your predictions straight away, mate.
I'm actually gonna second Chaitanya on this. I'm gonna say Netherlands are gonna spank Australia.
Good choice.
So
Top lad.
4 and above for the both of you?
4, not above.
Not above.
I reckon it's gonna be about 10 people behind the ball and Tim Cahill talking to the goalkeeper on the other side.
And Raman, what's the prediction for you then?
Well, I'd say Netherlands win. I'd reserve the comment in terms of how many they put in. Remember, the other day, 2 days ago, I was talking about Germany beating Portugal. I didn't fancy it on Portugal being down to 10 men. So you never can tell. You know, a couple of red cards come flashing out, and you never know what the scoreline is going to be. But I think it's Netherlands winning, of course, hands down.
The perils if Australia get a man sent off. The perils that follow.
Then it's definitely 4 and above.
Yeah, then we're going for 4 and above. Then we're going for a cricket score, as FIFA calls it.
Right then, from me.
Yeah.
My
Put
prediction.
your money where your mouth is.
I know. I'm accurate on last night, so by the way.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Right, Australia, Netherlands. I will obviously go with the Netherlands winning. I'm going to put it at a comfy 3-0 to
Okay.
the Netherlands. Right then, next game, Spain, Chile. New look or old school? What do you mean?
Well, there are a lot of players hungry for a position. Fernando Torres has come out along with Vicente Del Bosque and said that this game is one of these days when no one's worrying about who gets to play. It's all about winning. He would love to do it, and of course the entire Spanish team would love to do it, but I think it's time that the likes of Xabi Alonso and Xavi are being put on the bench. You have Koke, a brilliant midfielder, on your bench who's done wonders for Atletico. You have Juan Mata, who's as we were talking about, is surprisingly hated by every coach. Still is the best player in every team. Was the best player in a Chelsea shirt. Was the best player for United in a United shirt. Is still the best player if given more chances in a Spanish shirt. David Silva missed a sitter. Imagine what would that chance have done had Spain been 2-0 up. They're up, and I'd like to see this team. I'd like to see Martinez instead of Ramos rather than partnering Ramos. Ramos was again outshot by Robin easily.
Yes.
Sergio Busquets again. If you have players like Koke, Mata, use them. Use them on the wings. You have Cazorla. Put Cazorla beside Fabregas. Use Fabregas in the centers, running things. it's
I mean, that's
it'll be
what he
much,
was
much,
born
yeah,
to do.
Yeah.
No one seems to. When he was signed from Arsenal to Barcelona, he was signed from a position to fill in a position that he never actually played in over there at Barcelona, or very rarely. He was shoved around the pitch while they were doing these weird formations, playing him out in the wings. Spain seemed to be doing the same thing. I don't find him as versatile.
Again,
as
the
people
only
think
place he
is
ever
brilliant.
found his position was at Arsenal when they were playing him right exactly where he thrived.
It's
Again,
true.
Spain don't play according to Fabregas' position. Spain don't play according to a lot of their players' position. So I think what a new approach should be is not a midfield dominated formation, but a very fluid formation which has your players the ability to change roles and dictate play more because they're filled with versatile players.
Indeed, but one guy who's not been doing so well, and Raman, you know this as well as any of us because you brought this point up as well. Casillas obviously sucked the last time. So there was no other word to use it. De Gea is sidelined for 10 days. Do you stick Reina in and give him a shot, or do you take Casillas today as well?
Well, the only thing I'd say is you still go with experience. Otherwise, De Gea was the man they would have turned to straight away, no questions asked. But given the context of the match today, I think they'll give Casillas a shot at redemption.
Because this
Okay,
is
go out there. We've got most experience, and let's hope for Spain that he does have a good game because I think it's an end of an era more than anything else.
what will happen if they lose today to Chile, or even if they fail to just win, if they fail to take out 3 points?
First and foremost, there'll be mayhem because I think staring down the barrel of another world champion team failing to make it past the first round. And having said that, I think Chile would be pumped up because they know Spain have got their backs against the wall. A loss or even a draw is just as bad as a loss for them, for Spain. So they really do need to come out there and score and try and win it, which is where I feel with Spain trying to get a little more, a few more goals in, might be a little more vulnerable at the back. I fancy Chile today.
Yeah, I was also going to say, considering they put 3 past Australia, which is no easy task given the physical presence that Australia do bring to the defensive line. Spain is actually not very famous for having a great defense at the moment, as you said. So from Chile, who do you expect to be their strongest men, and for Spain their weakest men in defense, and where the clash is going to go down? We can actually bring up the Chile team if you for the viewers as well while Raman sir talks us through that.
See, for me, the most important thing, what's going wrong for Spain is that their keeper is completely woefully out of form, and we talked about it when we analyzed the last game when they lost to the Netherlands. I thought Casillas is having a horrible time. It doesn't matter what your defense is doing. Just a little while ago, we were talking about the Mexican goalkeeper and how, despite whatever defensive lapses happened for Mexico, he was like the impregnable wall, and that's where I think Spain are lacking. The second part, going back and trying to analyze contests here, as I said before, I think it's going to be a key scenario with Spain trying to push forward and maybe trying to ring in a few changes in the midfield. Might be more vulnerable at the back.
They don't have a main midfield battle too against Arturo Vidal, who's been doing wonders for Juventus and was brilliant for Chile in their first game against Australia. Again,
he is clear to play, right?
Yeah, he is fit to play. So,
speaking of which, they will be kicking off anytime soon.
Anytime
so again,
soon. Get
guys,
predictions
we've been
in, get their money where their mouth
too much
is.
once again. Let's get the predictions in quickly, gentlemen. Raman, sir, Spain versus Chile. Score for you.
I'd say Chile because there's too much pressure on Spain. They really don't look the part.
Fantastic. I'm also going to agree with him. I'm just going to play underdog, even though I'm supporting Spain. I'm going to be wearing the thing. I would like to see what happens because I always like to see
the score.
drama. Okay, the score 1-0 to Chile. Nikhil.
Are you following these guys in?
No, I'm not.
So what's it gonna be?
I actually find it very interesting. I believe that most of the Brazilian fans of the Brazil football team, are going to be wearing the Chile shirt because they want Spain out of this world.
Yep.
So what do you think the score's gonna be?
I think it's probably going to be a 1-0 to Spain for a change.
1-0 to Spain. Savvy, to you.
I'm gonna go 1-up to him. I say 2-0 to Spain.
All right, 2-0.
They're gonna get their game back, get their mojo back. Casillas gonna be strong as ever. All problem solved.
Fantastic. Right, there's one more game also happening tonight. That is Croatia versus Cameroon. This could be
Croatia's last day of the World Cup.
game of the World Cup. So if you're interested in seeing them go through, that is the likes of Luka Modric and all, if you'd like to see them.
Who has been cleared fit.
Who
Niko
has been
Kovac,
cleared
the
fit.
Croatian coach, said he's 100% fit and he means a lot to us, and we will not dwell on the match. Let's focus on the game and get the 3 points. You think, are they going to get 3 points?
I think they are
Scores,
going to
please.
pull through. I
Scores,
think they're going to pull
scores,
through.
please.
Prediction for that, I'm going to say they're going to pull through with a 2-1 victory.
2-1 victory. I say it's the last day for Croatia in the World Cup. Cameroon, Eto'o with the brace and Chupa Motong for a goal. I really want that guy to score. Nikhil, quick predictions on Croatia, Cameroon. You've got 3 seconds. 3.
3-0 Croatia.
Okay.
3-0.
Raman sir,
2-0.
as quick as they
Croatia.
come. Sorry?
2-0.
2-0. 2-0. Happy days. Right then, folks, that brings us to the end of What the Football today. Do, of course, send in your tweets and your comments and your videos, or pretty much anything that you would like us to talk about or that you would like to mention. We'd love to know. That is at India Post Live. Use the hashtag WTFootball, and we will get that on here and talk about it and do all the rest. As always, thank you guys for joining me on Google Hangout today. It was a pleasure. And Chaitanya, as always, let's get the car started and get on our bikes, because it is time for the World Cup in real life. So let's go check
It
that
started.
out.
Let's go. Take care. Have a good night.
Good night.